What's up, guys? So every week what I do is I typically will make a video going through what to expect in the coming weeks and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So what happened week one, what you should expect week two going forward, and then just some notes and some things that I've noticed over answering progress reports for the last couple hours. So big thing number one is this is week one, yes, but remember, your lowest weight is going to be on Sunday. Technically, you've dieted Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, okay? You've dieted for 4 days. So if you didn't lose 27 pounds yet, good, I guess. So understand that it's only been 4 days. Now, some of you have seen absolutely incredible results in 4 days. But the one thing that I do want to really congratulate everybody on is the attitude so far. So in the progress reports, typically, we don't see these attitudes start to flip a switch this early. It typically takes week 2, week 3, week 4 before we really start to see people kind of really preparing to plan ahead, really focusing, really going all in, really committing to themselves. And in the progress reports that I've done so far, a lot of people, the common theme actually is I'm preparing for success, I'm planning my meals, I'm staying on top of the information, and you guys have no idea how key that is to your success. Ultimately, that's the difference between doing okay on a challenge and doing phenomenal on a challenge, is that preparation and that mindset. So I am absolutely ecstatic to see how we're going to do if we're already at that point in week one. This is awesome. So that being said, week one, is the reason that you see such large weight drops week one is, remember, when we don't have carbs, we lose a lot of water weight as well. So it would be awesome if realistically we could lose 7 to 10 pounds of fat in 1 week, but that's not healthy, nor is it pretty possible, right? So it probably, again, healthy weight loss, 1 to 3 pounds per week. So remember that week 2, when we start adding the carbs back in, what's gonna happen is your body's gonna retain that water again, okay? So your weight, for most people, if you stay the same week 2, you technically probably lost a couple pounds of body fat because of all the water that you're taking in. So if you are a pound or 2 up from this week, next week, that's completely normal. If you're even from last week, you did great. If you're under again, wow, holy cow, you're doing amazing. Matt will send out the week 2 game plan shortly, okay? He doesn't like to do it too far ahead of time because he doesn't want you guys looking forward. He wants you concentrating on what's going on today and focus on the battle in front of you. So, but understand that week 2, we do add the carbs, so you're going to retain that water. Week 2 is the lowest weight loss of any week. Now, you will still lose inches, so make sure when you're measuring. Again, the big thing is some people have put astronomical inches down. I wish that was possible, guys. I wish our program did that, but sadly, you would be dead. Understand that when you measure, be consistent on where you measure. So biggest part of the arm, biggest part around the chest. We have videos that show exactly how to do that, okay? If you came to orientation, I walk you through exactly how to do it. But remember, don't forget, do it 3 times and then take the average, okay? So you might realize that one time when you measured your chest, it was 42, and the next time it was 38. Probably a difference there, right? So that's why we want you to do it consistently. And again, the tightness that you pull, be consistent. Don't really squeeze it tight, all the way in and see how far you can get it to see how many inches you can make yourself lose. Be consistent with it. Ultimately, we want consistent snapshots every week because as your coaches, what this allows us to do is the more accurate your numbers are, the easier we can dictate what we need to do with you going forward. So for most people so far, everybody's on point, everybody's doing great, and there's no need to change anything. The other question that we typically get asked going into week 2 is, well, do I get new macros? No. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So ultimately, if you did really well the first week, we don't need to change your numbers at all, right? Because you're still doing really well. For most people, during the entire 6-week challenge, they will not need their macros redone. So all you have to do is just keep your sheet and then go through whatever days on the game plan that we tell you. So the big thing I can tell you for week 2, though, is remember when we add carbs, I had a couple people ask me this, is when should I add my carbs, okay? You should add your carbs. Prime time would be after your workout. The meal after your workout is the best time to have your carb meal, okay? Don't worry about what the sheet says. The sheet just lists the carb meal first so it's easy to find, okay? So if you're working out in the morning, probably the meal after you work out. If you're working out at night, the meal after you work out. Now, what about if you're not working out? Okay, typically you're in the morning or in the evening at dinner. You don't want to have it be your first or your last meal of the day. You want it to either be the second meal if you're eating 5 meals or the fourth meals, okay? So if you were doing 5 meals, you want it to be the second or the fourth. You don't want to eat the carbs right before you go to bed, but we also, or if you're a morning person, again, don't wake up and have your carbs. You know, have that meal first and then have your carb meal later on during the day. Ultimately, what we want you to do is try to space out that window of as long as we can go in between carbs, right? So, be aware of that too. Now, it's not a huge deal. It's not going to make or break your results. But again, just trying to give you a couple pointers going forward that after workout carbs are the best. The reason that we want carbs after your workout, in case you're wondering, scientifically. So, protein after your workout promotes muscle growth, right? In order for our program to work, we need to build muscle so we can burn fat, right? Because remember, every pound of resting muscle burns 30 to 50 times more calories than every pound of resting fat. That's why we want it, okay? So we want to build muscle. So protein afterwards builds muscle. Protein and carb activates a little bit more muscle growth. So that's why we want it optimally right after our workout, is to promote that muscle growth so we can get leaner, stronger, faster, better, right? That's why we do it, just in case you're wondering. Now, the only other things typically that will happen going into this week is, again, challenge your workouts. If you can't make one, okay, it's not a big deal. It's not life or death. There's at-home workouts. There's deplete workouts. There's vacation workouts. Pick one and do it at home, preferably an hour or two before your cheat meal. The reason we want to do that is we want your metabolism revved up so that the cheat meal doesn't affect you as much. Now, is it life or death for you to do the workout an hour or two beforehand? No. But that being said, it is ideal. So just be aware of that. You don't have to do it, but it is ideal. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, guys, great job this week. Absolutely phenomenal. So impressed. So excited to see what's going to happen over this next week. And I will make another video at the end of next week when I go through your reports. See you then.